going on, YouTube? I am back. It's April, that time of the year. Track's about to open back up, and I don't have a car that's running. Well, it does run, but had an issue with one of the turbos. Basically just hoping that it was the turbo drain gasket that went out on it. But little tiny $2 gasket, you got to tear half the car apart to get to it. So welcome back. While I got your attention, hit that subscribe button. That would help me out a lot. Hit the like button, comment if you feel away. So let's tear into this video. So basically what had happened was, I got the car all together, started it up, ran fine. Took it out for a drive. I mean, the boost and the power was crazy on it. Like, first hit, tires absolutely broke loose. I forgot I still had X drive on, so I immediately turned that off until I feel a little bit more comfortable with the car. I noticed when I got up to like above like 50 or whatever, the car would get a little shaky. So I was like, I need to definitely get alignment, and I'm pretty sure the wheels weren't balanced. So I put that in the schedule to get done. But before that, I wanted to get the rear brace, under brace of the car back on, and I had some studs broke off in there. So I said, I'll leave it with my nephew. He's competent enough to do it. So take the car up there to my nephew. That was an ordeal all in itself, dealing with him and his father and their family squabbles. But took about a weekend or whatever. They got all the bolts out, everything rethreaded and all that. It was good to go. And I took the car, brought it back here, and I noticed there was some oil dripping on the side, on the passenger side. So took the wheel off and looked, and there was just a mess of oil all over the wheel well, just everywhere. So I was like, crap. In my emotional funk, I just said, screw it. I was pretty much done energy-wise with the car, and I pretty much left it sitting for the whole winter. So from like December to like March, I didn't touch the car. It just sat here in the wheelhouse, not doing anything, which was, probably really stupid considering the warranty on the turbo was going like 6 months, and I bought them in like September, I think. So I'm well outside. If there's actually something wrong with the turbos, I'm well outside the warranty. But yeah, so I got up under there, got everything apart. But I wanted to make a video or whatever to show how to take the subframe down. So that's what this video is. Alright, start off, first thing you want to do is get you an engine support bar or engine brace. Got mine from Harbor Freight for about $90 or so after taxes and all of that. You want to make sure you get that on there, make sure it's secure. Last thing you want is the engine to fall on you. So make sure you take care of that. Next thing you want to do is get the wheels off. Access everything you need to get to. If you have an XI model, you might want to think about taking the axle out. If you have a rear-wheel drive model, not something you have to worry about. But I'm gonna see if I can get around taking the axle out at first. If I need more room, then I'll go ahead and buy a kit and get it taken out. But try and do it this way first. Less work. Alright, so once you get the wheels off, the next part is you need to get all your control arms disconnected from the subframe here. You got your lower control arm. Back here you got your thrust arm. If I can get the camera to do what I wanted to do. Got to take that off, and then you got your tie rod here in the front. So what I do is the tie rod, I take that off of the knuckle right here, and then the thrust arm, I disconnect that at the subframe, and then the lower control arm, disconnect that from the subframe also. Alright, let me take it off and show you what's going on. Alright, once you get all the arms disconnected, trailing arm, lower control arm, and the tie rod over here, you want to move to the sway bar, get that disconnected, and after that you want to start in on the power steering rack. All of that has to come out, that bolt there. While I'm down here doing all of this, I am doing my inner and outer tie rods. Probably not gonna go over that, but just for note. So to get the sway bar out, you're going to have to undo the power steering line brackets that are attached to the subframe. There's one here and the other one is over here, and then the two bolts that hold your coolant crossover pipe, that guy there, and then there's one up here. You should be able to just slide it forward and then the sway bar come down. You got 4 bolts that hold the sway bar, 13 mil. Take those out and the sway bar should drop down. Alright, now that you've gotten the sway bar out, you got to get the power steering rack out of the way. You got this heat shield here that's held in with 2 10mm bolts, and then you've got that bolt right back there. That is a 16, and then you have at the bottom, you got the bolt down here. That is a T12 Torx. So what you got to do is hold the bolt down here, and then you have to stick your ratchet through up here and hold it in place to get it out. As you can see on the other side, it's a little bit of a tighter space to get in there, but same deal, 16 on top, T12 on the bottom. I think the best way to reach this one is to go in through the front side, and you'll be able to get your ratchet on there to hold it in place like that. And then you should be able to back it out. Now once you get the bolts out, you're able to move your power steering rack back and forth when you need to get in there and drop your subframe. Just slide that back. Now there are 2 ways to do this. You can either take the rack and disconnect it from the steering arm, or you can take the rack itself and I take like bungee cords and strap it to somewhere in the engine to hold it in place. You don't want it to fall all the way out, but what I'm going to do is just take some bungee cords and hold it up in place close to the engine, so I don't have to take the steering rack all the way out and disconnect all the lines. Alright, so once you get the power steering loose, you've got 3 bolts to take the subframe down. You got this guy here, got this bolt here, and then finally one in the back. It's in here. So what I do is I'll take the front, the back, and the front bolt out and just leave the ones in the middle on both sides, and then as you get ready to start lowering your subframe, you could just do it on those 2 bolts on both sides. Alright, now that you've got the front and the rear bolt out before you start lowering the subframe. At the center bolt here, you want to take the bolts, the 2 bolts that hold your subframe, hold your motor mount into subframe. You got one on both sides. I don't remember what the OEM bolt size are. I got aftermarket motor mounts, so mine are different, but they have the same placement. So once you get those two, the 2 front and the rear subframe bolts out, you want to go after the motor mount bolts and undo those. Then after you get both of those out on both sides, then you can start working on lowering the subframe. All right, so once you get both of those motor mount bolts out, you want to make sure that this connector here is disconnected, and you want to start loosening the bolt right here, and then start dropping the subframe down. You want to have something like jack stands, or if you're gonna do like me, I got 2 jacks, and I'm gonna put them up under there to hold it so that I can let it down incrementally. And while you're doing that, you want to start pushing power steering pump back, and then once you get to a certain point, you should be able to find a place that you can lash the power steering rack up, get your bungee cords or whatever to hold it in place while you work on everything. Well, if you've done everything like you're supposed to, subframe should come down. As you can see, I got a strap here that goes all the way down, and both goes around the power steering rack to keep it in place so it doesn't fall all the way down. And I got my other jack over here, and you just let it down slowly and it should come all the way down. Well, that's it for this video. Hopefully you can find some use out of it. You have to drop the subframe, you know, doing like the oil pan gasket or doing turbos and stuff like that. You'll definitely have to know how to drop the subframe if you're doing all of that stuff. So yeah, be on the lookout for more videos. Hopefully I get this damn thing done. Also doing some other little projects on there. You see. But yeah, so stay tuned. We're gonna hit the track hopefully before the end of the year with my luck. So I'm not really not gonna put no time frame on it because I did that last year and it pretty much screwed me. So y'all stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, comment, show me some love. Y'all be safe out there.
I get in trouble by staring at somebody, and now they got police trying to get me. Man, shit.